Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.
Bold the wonders of future modular ship design. You can attach new pieces as you go in the vacuum of space, even if you're unlicensed, have very low understanding of rocket science, or are careless enough to place something in the path of your own laser fire. Welcome to space! Well, actually it's Kevin and Natalie's living room, presumably in the 90s, after a Saturday morning cartoon called Captain Forever, and this is them playing a game that's this real and intense through the power of imagination. Natalie gets to be Captain Forever, and Kevin is King Kevin, the villain. And you, as Captain Forever, have to scavenge your way through our solar system, defeating his hench people to save the day from his gum-faced countenance and mischief, although it looks more like melting strawberry ice cream. You destroy their ships and claim their ship bits for your own. Pick and choose what parts you want to create your ideal ship, or if you want, Shippenstein's monster. The pieces snap on easily. Maybe the more disciplined among you may hunt enough to find the same colored pieces to create a single-toned, symmetrical, perfect and understandable ship, but I usually just went for the higher leveled ship whose defeat would allow progression to the next planet / level, and thus I have to face the upcoming trials with off-kilter thrust and the body consisting of stuck-together skittles. By the way, cube-shaped candy is a fun, interesting lawsuit waiting to happen. Much like in Lootathon RPGs, the color denotes the quality of the piece, except here more uniformly, instead of relevant to level. Predictable. Level 1 green, level 2 yellow, 3 orange, 4 red, etc. Easy to know and understand what to replace and when, because you know what's stronger on sight, and the gradual progression should prevent you getting too confused. Yeah, that's the new color. Plus the solar system color coding is there, but it took me a while to realize that. Pieces that offer more health, more thrust, more damage, a higher firing speed, and even more weight, which does make things a bit more complicated. This thing's a boat now. How off Earth did its mild punishment? Am I supposed to maneuver this thing now? Well, mass, but even so, will it have this effect on ship flight? So those of you who think about these things a bit more, or better at ship design, may succeed in completing this game where I did not. You also need to keep your wits about you, because sometimes people will attack you from behind. Or maybe you just get impatient because you have lasers for days and move in too close during the slogfest, incurring unnecessary damage, losing a couple of weapons, or sometimes maybe even half of your ship. Whee! You were so deadly a few seconds ago. Now I'm just hoping you'll hit me so I can restart. Yes, I know you can do this all day, please don't. Of course you're going to win. Yes, only my command bit is left. Please end this. Modular ship construction is great when you have the pieces. The interchangeable nature of the pieces is almost Lego-like. The intuitive thrusters that automatically fire in groups, depending on what side of the ship they're placed, corresponding to your directional presses. You get ability pieces that confer, for instance, increased dodge chance, or vampiric touch to your laser beams. Repair modules, and a bunch of weapons, although those are hard to unlock and difficult to use. To unlock a new ship set, you have to use the newest one you've unlocked to reach a certain level, and these new sets have the new weapons. But in every run where I reached the appropriate level, I'd lost the new weapon and equipped the more straightforward laser. I mean, this grinder is much less imposing than when you see enemies use these can openers in pure defense. It's fun and simple, but even the best, most mobile ship will struggle. How am I supposed to not get hit? Especially since the base laser doesn't have the best range, and unless you have front thrusters, your reverse will be slow, but if you do get in close and personal, the explosions of the enemy will damage you too. See those flickering pieces? If you don't do something about them, one stray laser beam can cause your destruction. Either that or I foolishly connected all the pieces of the right side of my ship in a chain that all stems from the frontmost bit. So you don't just need to build quickly, but soundly. Enemies can be common enough to be annoying during shipbuilding. Could you just give me a moment? Annoying indeed. There may even be some scenarios when you try and shoot that ship, in spite of the damage it would do to the pieces, where in all fairness maybe my impatience led me to. There isn't an exploration component really. I mean you can find gear, but this is just a flat 2D piece of space. Periodically you'll encounter the enemies, and the pulsing circle will lead you to the higher level foe so that you can progress. It does have story, not a lot of it, but it and the premise are charming. You having to stop King Kevin on his famous pranking spree. Bickering siblings, sort of, deciding to take their battle to space, sometimes saying amusing things at the start of each level. Intro banter. And some of the hench people have good lines too. Sure, they'll start to repeat soon enough and are less funny, more like amusing, in how they keep with the stereotypic idea of playground trash talk. But still nice. Cute and fits with the lovely, childlike, mischievous take on loungy elevator music. Easy listening for rapscallions, and the pleasantly petulant. And sometimes the accents are less upbeat and even more sci-fi, so that some of the later planets can sound more mysterious and maybe even sinister. The visuals are just as good when it comes to representing this scamp's trail of terror. Great in general, arguably. The ship pieces are kind of neon, and they're overlain on top of hand-drawn space stills. Say Kevin freezes the sun. They brought that scenario to life using classic cartoon logic, comedically literal interpretation. And why does Australia get such top billing? Cartoony chaos. The style smacks of the older, grosser cartoons of the 90s, except with a brighter color palette. Probably a little bit gross, just not entirely cow and chicken. Captain Forever has eyes that remind me of Futurama. And the hench mutants look good too. Delightfully all over the place. Cute to slightly scary. All kinds of mutated animals. These touches what would have made a very dry game feel a bit more alive, have more personality. This game is actually very good, but it is hard. As said, I did not finish it. And the gameplay itself isn't that engrossing, and sometimes you have the mentioned maneuverability problem. Fortunately, the mentioned charm dragged me along, but still, after 5 hours I was done. But even though I didn't complete it, I think it's still quite short. Because, you know, the solar system. It is cheap on Steam, 79 Rand full price, but unfortunately in 2023 it did not have a sale price. So if you don't get a special, that's 15 Rand, 80 cents per hour of gameplay. Incredibly decadent, even if you play more hours, because I doubt you'll play it that much more. It is an older title that maybe gets a bit forgotten, so don't know when that sale will be on the horizon. But until then, be aware. At least it has a fairly small download size, as it only takes up 583.02 megabytes on the hard drive. And it does work on the War fairly well. I mean, there is some frame rate drop, but it was playable until I died on level 3. The performance then dropped there. That just ended the test and my fun. I tested it again with the FPS counter on, and it ranged between 51 and 59 FPS, with no enemies around, and the range shifted to between 29 and 51 FPS, when 1 or 2 small enemies were on the screen with me, and it went as low as 21 FPS during a jolt when I died. But after I turned off VSync and reduced the resolution to 800 x 600, it didn't drop below 40 FPS I believe, and that's while 2 mid-sized ships were on the same screen with me, and I was spewing fire on them. And stereotypically, it's kid-friendly. I don't remember anything objectionable. Not really. At most, there was one very mild case of bad language. Really mild. The game has cute, charming, cartoony graphics, grungy, mildly gross style, nice hand-drawn prank wasteland of a solar system, nice hench people, nice Futurama eyes, all fits with the gamification of sibling rivalry. Sweet, swinging, mischievous, loungy elevator music has a tinge of the mystery of space, even though I highly doubt this game is hiding anything from me. It is a lovely, easy-to-use, snapping mechanic for ship creation, mostly easy to understand, with some more complicated elements like thrust to weight ratios, although that's not that problematic. You can make do just upgrading to higher level colors while trimming weight where you can. And the premise is great. It has some nice lines of dialogue. If the mutants' lines don't really take context into account that much. It doesn't have much story, but it does act as some lovely distraction from the heavy gameplay focus. Its arcadey nature. But that leads us to the maybes. This game is arcadey and quite hard. And I was playing on the default difficulty setting of easy. Although, maybe it will make a good in-between game. Stop when you get tired of being blown up. Pick it up again at some other time. On the con side, there isn't enough distraction for what this game is to really keep at it, at least for me. The combat and movement can be a bit frustrating. If the thrust to weight ratio isn't right, you'll be lethargic, hard to maneuver, and sometimes destroying ship bits can be sloggy, and your limited range may make you go close enough that their explosions damage you. Maybe the point is more to grind so much that you have a full kit of the area's color block, and to exchange damaged bits as soon as you get them, to ensure your full strength, but I really wasn't in the mood to do that. Maybe you will be, or simply have better ship design skills than me. And these elements that make combat hard are multiplied when you go up against powerful behemoths. And arguably the new ship kits you can unlock, which is probably supposed to be a distraction as well, isn't that distracting because the weapons they give you aren't that useful. I mean, I was real reticent to try and melee other shit. Come on, play it. Where else can you play a game where you get defeated by a straight line, firing other straight lines?
Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.